ate noodles with no packet, cereal with the can.
Like I've told you guys before, time and time again, Shaitan is working overtime. Clearly, because every Gen Z girl now wants to be some sort of vampire or a witch. Interesting.
That none of this was an accident. Just look at the fastest growing religions today. Among men, it's orthodoxy, rooted in tradition, self-sacrifice, traditional understandings of men and women. But among women, it's witchcraft, goddess worship, and new age spirituality.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy there. The fastest growing religion first one is Wicca. New age spirituality and religiously unaffiliated. I don't even know where we're going with this.
Rooted in astrology, crystals, and worship of the divine feminine. But historically, this is not random. It's a clear indicator of a much deeper crisis. When civilizations are on the brink of collapse, one of the clearest indicators is that they turn back towards fertility cults, goddess figures, and the worship of the
the false idols. This is all part of the end times. Shaitan is working overtime. Okay?
divine feminine. So when you see modern women turning to witch talk, divine feminine spirituality, pop star goddess worship, and antinatalist ideology, you are not just looking at a dating crisis. You are watching history repeat itself. The truth is, over the last 100 years, men and women have been part of a social engineering experiment that's been forming them into completely separate and incompatible.
Bro, this is what I'm talking about. This is the thing I've been saying this whole time. And in this video, we're really going to get into it, huh? This is one of the big IQ videos. As I've been saying, this whole idea and propagation of the female empowerment and everything is to make us separate from each other. To make it so that we actually believe that we don't need a partner for procreation. To believe that being by yourself is right and just. And that this idea of having a partner in your life is just ridiculous because you're so good on your own. You're so independent on your own. You don't need anybody else. This is a lie that they're trying to tell us. So shout out to this video for giving us the truth. Let's go.
Ways. But once we take a look at the data, the institutions, and the history of how witchcraft became the fastest growing female religion, the gender divide, birth rate crisis, and real story of feminism start to make more sense. And this is why.
This is
the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to say out loud is that women are being used as vehicles for social engineering. That's why it simply doesn't work to tell men to just man up and get fit and focus on self-improvement.
Go swipe right. If your outcome is this, go learn how to DM. Go improve your DM game. Go improve how to message better. Go
BBD with the facts. Yo, go learn how to do that better. Go learn how to do that better. Yo, PBD's giving you the facts in case y'all niggas didn't know, man. Damn, PBD. Go learn how to DM better. Go learn how to be a better man. Go learn how to get a brand new pair of shoes. Go get yourself a brand new suit. Be a man. You don't know how to DM? You don't know how to DM? I'm PBD. I'm a numbers guy. I'm a numbers guy. Okay? It's a numbers game. You want to get a lot of girls? Go and get yourself a lot of dates. You don't have a suit? Get yourself in the store. I'm a numbers guy. I'm PBD, baby. Yeah, that's my PBD impression. W.
improve what emojis to send.
Because if it's truly the
Nigga, fuck. Improve the emojis you're sending? Shit. Is there like a selectable few emojis you can send to bitches?
fault of our modern generation of men, then why were all the institutions and NGOs dumping billions into targeting?
This nigga is such a man. Look at this nigga. Look at this nigga's mustache and beard. And his location where he sleeps. One singular lamp in the background illuminates the deep, dark depression that is his bedroom. This is a man.
Women for the last 100 years. All you have to do is look at the data.
Do you believe in sin?
Well, I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world.
We've all seen the typical statistics that women are much more liberal than men, much more educated than men, and men and women increasingly don't like each other and therefore aren't having kids. But the part nobody's talking about is that this is all just a symptom of a much deeper problem. Because
listen, I think it's easy to fall for the propaganda and it's easy to take your own personal experiences and try to apply it. But sadly, I just don't believe that people are, because what is it? Everyone's saying that everyone's lonely, no one's, no one's fucking, niggas aren't doing this. Like, no. People are in relationships. I'm meeting a lot of people that are in beautiful relationships. They're together, they're happy. So this whole idea of like men and women being separated, honestly, I think is just the propaganda. Because at first I was like, oh no, you know what I mean? I would be complaining. But then that was just such negative energy. I think in positive, when I really look at it, it's purely positive. People are together, people are dating, people are happy. I think the information we're being fed is also, a lot of it is lies. So I don't think you should always take everything that's going on, like, take it with a grain of salt, because I don't think it's as bad as we think it is. But the idol worship, that's real, and that's a problem. Shaitan, leave us alone.
Amid this so-called progress of our modern society, the birth rates are collapsing at tremendous rates. The US total fertility rate hit a record low of around 1.6 births per woman in recent years, well below the 2.1 per woman replacement level. But the dark truth is that men and women no longer live in the same moral universe or have the same conception of right and wrong. But why is this happening? Because morality has to be grounded in a worldview. So what exactly do women believe? Analysts are documenting that religion is on the rise in America. You might have seen all the videos saying that there's a massive religion resurgence, but not.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. There is an ascension, and at the start of 2020 was the beginning of the consciousness ascension of the earth, which is why you had a lot of people waking up, you had a lot of people returning back to their native countries of sorts, right? As being as PC as possible. Like they were just going back to the motherland, just like I went back to the motherland. I went back to Congo, to the motherland. And the spiritual awakening, I am been getting more and more in touch with religion, with God, with the creator, as they say, right? But this idea of worshiping false idols, worshiping pop stars, blah, 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 that's crazy to me that you guys would be involved in that.
The ones that you might think. The fastest growing religious trends among men include Christian Orthodoxy, Roman Catholicism, with reports of a 78% surge in converts to Orthodoxy, with 20,000 people being baptized newly this year into the Orthodox Church, where for about every 2 men who enter Orthodoxy, only about 1 woman converts. So that's all fine and dandy, but where is all the female spiritual enthusiasm going? Because while many men are moving towards Orthodoxy, tradition, hierarchy, sacrifice, and repentance, many women are actually moving in the opposite direction. For women, the fastest growing spiritual currents are Wicca, witchcraft, New Age spirituality, astrology, goddess worship, and religion.
So I was fucking right. Huh? I was fucking right what I said. Listen, man. Let's have one of the nose, bro. We got some boogers in the nose. What is this, boogers? Okay. Anyway, I was fucking right when I said that. When I said that, like, the shorties doing all this spiritual huba juba stuff, retarded, bro. It's retarded. Why are you guys doing this huba juba shit? Explain that to me.
Disaffiliation. These are not neutral trends. They are female-centered, anti-patriarchal, and built around the divine feminine, personal autonomy, emotional healing, and manifesting spiritual power. And we're going to get into what these movements actually believe here in a bit, because it gets much darker than just crystals and horoscopes. But the part nobody is telling you, not the manosphere, not the so-called right-wing Christian influencers, not self-help gurus, is that feminism itself is deeply religious. It has dogmas, it has saints, it has heresies, rituals, and sacred victims, and forbidden questions that you're not allowed to ask. And at the center of it all is one core belief: patriarchy must be destroyed.
Wow.
Tonight I'm playing Ashniko Femdom, and it's a little bit of a power play. There are 2 men holding my hair, down with the patriarchy.
Bro, what the fuck? Do you guys... No, they actually do believe it. It's called retardation.
That's the message.
I was out here hating men before it became a thing.
But my real muse was David Bowie. He embodied male and female spirit, and that suited me just fine.
I believe in manifesting. I believe in all of that magic of life, and that keeps me excited.
Can you do a tarot card reading for me?
Oh my god, I wish I brought them.
Yeah, what is that? What are you just walking around set looking at dude?
Every day. No, they come to me.
Oh, interesting.
They come to me.
Okay, so I like wearing body parts as jewelry. So I thought I wanted to wear my fans because I love my fans more than anything in the world.
Right.
So I thought they could send me their teeth, and then I made a headdress out of him.
Good God, man. Why is Satan becoming so strong? How do we let him become this strong? How do we let him become this strong? Huh?
And I had like 1,000, so now I'm making a bra.
You said, I have to ask you, it's running out of time, that you've slept with a ghost. I have to ask you, have you slept with a ghost?
I did go to the bone zone.
Goddess worship. Modern pop stars are not just selling music anymore. They are selling archetypes. They are selling spiritual identities. Let's start with Beyoncé. Beyoncé is not simply marketed as a singer. She is quote-unquote Queen Bee. Her imagery constantly leans into royalty, fertility, divine femininity, African goddess symbolism, and mass devotion. In Lemonade, she appears in imagery associated with Ocean, the goddess of beauty, sensuality, fertility, and water.
It's a form of worship.
In the song Church Girl, she fuses church language with sexual liberation language, as if the sacred space itself has become repurposed into a celebration of autonomy. And the most diabolical of all, she recites,
I saw the devil. I grew thickened skin on my feet. I bathed in bleach and plugged my menses with pages from the holy book.
Yes, she means she used sacred scripture as a tampon, but it gets more explicit. Ariana Grande.
Oh my goodness, Jesus, bro. Please come and save us. Please come and save us, Jesus. The world needs you now. When they needed him the most, nigga was making a sandwich.
has openly embraced witchcraft in the occult. Literally releases a song called quote-unquote God is a Woman, and in the music video she is not just singing about empowerment, but she is placed at the center of the cosmos. She is surrounded by a choir. She reimagines religious art, even placing herself in the position of God the Creator in a recreation of Michelangelo's creation of Adam, which completely inverts the script because, as we all know, Eve came from Adam's rib. And when she performed it at the VMAs, the stage looked like a feminist Last Supper. Now, this stuff is not subtle, but then it gets a lot darker. Lady Gaga was one of the major bridges between the older blasphemous pop and the new ritualistic female celebrity cult. In Judas, she takes the imagery of Christ, Judas, and Mary Magdalene and turns it into pop psychology, betrayal, desire, and self-expression. In all
This is so weird, man. When you start to see it, when you start to see these sort of demonic power plays that are happening right in front of your eyes, you start realizing, like, there's a bigger agenda at play here. It's like they're really trying to start, like, it's more than a movement. It becomes a cult at this point.
Alejandro, Catholic coded imagery, rosaries.
That's sad because Alejandro is also, I really like that song, but I've always known it had religious themes. I mean, I'm not blind.
Religious costumes, eroticism, and militarized choreography all collapse into one performance. With Gaga, pop becomes ritual, fame becomes religion, and the stage becomes an altar. And in recent times, record labels are trying to make this seem cute. Sabrina Carpenter, she takes sacrilege and turns into a joke. Her feather music was...
Yeah, this is also another thing you guys have to understand. Look at the religion that they keep making fun of. They keep making fun of what? Of Christianity, which is tied to who? Which is tied to God. It doesn't matter what denomination you guys are, all this, right? There's God. There's either God or there's not, right? So if you are celebrating God or you're worshiping your God, why would you proceed to then like mock it, right? You're mocking God. The Bible is sacred. My Bible sits over there. When I find that there's things on it that shouldn't be touching the Bible, I remove them, right? The Bible is sacred. It shouldn't be on the floor, right? These are holy books. They should not be on the floor. So if this is a holy religion, it should be treated as such. But the thing is, the problem with America is that a long time ago, America, they removed themselves off of the gold standard. They removed themselves from Christianity, okay? Because their notes and money now doesn't even say in God we trust anymore. I don't know if that's true or not. Allegedly, in my opinion, someone go verify that. And the third one now is like they became a corporation, LLC, right? When America became a corporation. So now it's just about capitalism. And who loves money and fancy things more than the devil himself?
It's filmed inside a Catholic church with coffins.
Yeah, this is crazy. The fact that you think you could put a coffin and be dancing around scantily dressed as a nun in a church, you are making fun of God and he is angry, dog.
Death, veils, altar imagery, and men dying around her in stylized revenge comedy. When people were outraged, her response was basically, quote-unquote, Jesus was a carpenter. Then in taste, horror references, blood, revenge, obsession, even voodoo doll imagery. But then the altar turns openly satanic. The most striking example is the recent new artist Sophia Zella, whose music and performance embodies this new goddess archetype beyond blatantly. Her rapid emergence out of seemingly nowhere drips with female empowerment laced with man hate and toxic rhetoric. Live, her
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is why me and my mom had a conversation about the music industry a long time ago, and I was always asking myself, like, yo, everything that I'm doing isn't popping, and then you sort of come to realize that the majority of the time, if you really want to pop off, you're going to need to be a part of their demonic agenda. And as a child of God, I can't be a part of this demonic agenda. So when you see these kind of artists that just seemingly come out of nowhere, we've tried to make fun of them by calling them industry plants, but still some get through the cracks, right? And so this is why you have this situation here where it's like they're propping up artists that are feeding this agenda. Because all they have to do realistically is anyone can be famous. They just have to take you, put you through the machine, and then you pop up on the other side. And they just have to press go, right? They already know how to manipulate the youth and the age groups and get their stuff in front of them. They already know how to do that, and they know how to do it well.
Concerts resemble religious services. Young girls worship her on stage.
Look at this. Look at this shit, dude. This is why I told y'all niggas about this celebrity shit. Don't worship these people, bro. They're just regular people, and most of the time these celebrities are assholes. This bitch is shaking. You're gonna shake when you see somebody else? Get the fuck out of here. Look at the way this lady is looking. I would have slapped the fuck out of her, dude. Been like, wake up! Stop worshiping idols. Sorry, I'm just joking, obviously.
Screaming lyrics in trance-like devotion, treating her as a high priestess of feminine rage. This is goddess worship in real time. Tracks like, quote, everybody supports women, promote these deeply entrenched feminist ideas as if they're just widely accepted by everybody.
Bro, if that was my bitch, like if that was my girl and I saw this video, it's over, dude. It's over. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. I'm gonna have to break up with her because she's susceptible to this woman's magic that she's doing. The worship. If this bitch were to say, in you, I want you when your mind is sleeping, you poison your mind. You poison him with the poison. She's going to listen because she's easily controlled by this Sophia Zella or whatever.
And we all ought to believe them. Quote, everybody supports women until a woman is doing better than you. Her EP, quote, I Can Be Your Mother, features songs that blur maternal roles with
That's not true at all, dude.
dominance and seduction, and have obvious goddess worship implications. Twists nurturing control into, quote, I can be your mother, I can be your dad, I can be anything but you. A demonic, genderless delusion. In one video, she tempts men with fruit in a clear reenactment of Eve offering the forbidden apple to Adam in the garden, positioning women as seductive disruptors of order.
Bro, first of all, we already know the deception. I want you guys to understand this. I'm going to make a clear point. Who decided to grab this apple? Eve did, all right? The woman, all right? She decided to grab the apple. She was tempted by who to grab this apple? By the snake, all right? The creature is an embodiment of deception, the snake, okay? It's an embodiment of deception. And who was susceptible to this deception? The woman. Why? Because she's constantly part of deception. The very first sin is deception, as you can clearly see, dude. Disobeying. They disobeyed. Okay, maybe not the first, but disobeyed. And then there's deception. She seduced him to eat the apple. She brought the evil to the man. Which is why they always say that the one thing that can destroy a man's entire empire is the wrong woman. Okay? And the they say that the people who reside the most and are filling up hell are women.
Rituals of affirmation, where traditional faith is replaced by secular idolatry of the empowered woman. And later in the video, we'll explore how she's actually taking on an ancient Hindu goddess archetype. Now, when we go into the philosophy and the people who push this idea into American mainstream, we will see that this was actually their goal. What's really going on? But before we get into that, I just want to quickly remind you all that Lungs of Faith is it's in the hands of all of our young women, and it's honestly terrifying. Accounts with hundreds of thousands of millions of followers dedicated to blatant and overt witchcraft, teaching young women how to cast spells, manifest, and contact the demonic. Now, one of the biggest niches in which
the crazy thing is, I'll say this. I don't give a fuck what you niggas think you got. I don't care what kind of magic these white bitches think they're gonna do. It's not stronger than the African Congolese magic, bro. So it doesn't matter. First of all, and a lot of the times when it comes down to like this witchcraft stuff, you have to believe it. Like, let's say, for example, let's say your shorty is practicing witchcraft, right? You're with your shorty, she's practicing witchcraft, but you don't believe in witchcraft. So even if you guys were to break up, whatever it is that she thinks she could do to you will have no effect, because you have to be spiritually strong to be able to combat it, because it works in the spiritual realm. So if I don't believe it, if my spirit doesn't believe that this is real, then you actually can't touch me. The amount of niggas that tried to attack me in Congo through spiritual warfare, through the Kindoki, I understand. Okay? I understand you niggas were jelly when you saw a nigga like me, so you try to attack me. But you can't get me because spiritually I'm strong. Which is why all this Satanist shit that you guys are doing is crazy to me, bro. How do you guys think you don't even need black magic to cast spells? You can cast spells with white magic. White magic is good magic. White magic is the magic that is used to better and enrich the community and people around you. Black magic is selfish, egotistical, narcissistic empowerment. Okay, those are the two ideas that I want you guys to remember throughout this video.
Ways this works into the popular consciousness is through dating advice and teaching women to cast spells on their boyfriends and future lovers without them.
See, I told you, you'll never be able to cast a spell on me, bitch, unless I want to. Okay, this one bitch tried to say, oh, my plan was to make you fall in love with me. I fell in love with you, yes, but because I wanted to, not because you cast a spell on me. Okay, that's retarded to think that you could do that. Like, I'm just a lover boy. That's it. You didn't cast a spell on nobody, you fucking cunt. Sorry.
Check it out.
Fuck!
If you came across this video, it's so you need to learn how to control that man and make him submit to your will.
I cast a spell on my boyfriend.
Yeah, that's right.
Pooping and wondering and fantasizing about him breaking no contact. Girl, it's been over a week. Do witchcraft on him already.
When they ask how I get my man to listen and do whatever I say, controlling love spell.
Now to
Right, I bet.
All of the girl dads and the white knights, wake up. This is the reality. This could be your own daughter, because it's in every corner of the female internet, from entrepreneurship advice being littered with manifestation and seances to makeup tutorials caked in with spells.
I created my dream life using witchcraft. I am now financially free. I built a successful art business from scratch.
That bitch is AI, man. Look at her face.
And I live in my dream apartment. And I'm going to tell you how I did it. I always make sure to keep 3 spells in my home at all times, and that is a luck and abundance spell, a protection.
Yes. Listen, man, we can get into this all day, but you guys are fucked, man. It's God. It's God. You can have the magic. You can cast the spells. You can do whatever, but it's God, okay? It's God. Either you're with God or you're not.
Spell and a transmutation spell. I do make all of these myself with ingredients from a metaphysical or grocery store, and I hand select every ingredient because I want to really resonate and align with everything that goes into the spell. And I do think that is the key to making a powerful spell.
I'm going to give you a very, very powerful business spell to cast. It is actually my personal one that I use myself. This spell is the reason why I have such high quality clients, throw their money at me, who are loyal, who don't waste no time, all of the check boxes.
Because with enchantments, sometimes it really is easy as taking the cologne, maybe matching herb if you want to bathe in that. Take a cologne, your beauty sigil, put it underneath it, and spray your cologne. Bewitched.
It's so sad that we live in this world where you niggas actually believe this shit.
Welcome to Glamour Magic 101.
Okay, goddesses, let's talk about strawberry.
Like, seduction spell. Let me put a spell of seduction. I will seduce you, man. Seduce. No. Maybe you can chalk it up to pheromones and the fact that you're actually attractive. It's not a spell. Your beauty is God-given. Come on. You guys are bullshit artists.
Magic. So strawberries are really, really great for seduction.
I think this one ate the strawberries before she even got to the spell. The content that dominates online typically reveals what people are actually hungry for, and right now a massive amount of popular women's content is astrology, witchcraft, divine feminine energy, manipulation, therapy speak, anti-motherhood empowerment. Meanwhile, men's content is obsessed with success, lifting, discipline, money, and self-improvement, which, don't get me wrong, all have their serious problems, but pretending that men are equally in as bad of a state as women is just completely delusional. Men are being told to become stronger, women are being told they are goddesses. Those are not the same problem. An increasingly
different problem. First of all, you tell this shorty she's a goddess, you're inflating her head, dude. She's not a goddess, she's a dumbass.
Popular trend among young women is using their menstrual blood in rituals.
Think carefully about who you're doing this for, because you won't be able to distance yourself from that person ever again. Take a sanitary pad and make a hole in it. Through this hole, insert a photo of the person you wish to have in your life. If you are on your period, it is much more effective.
This is crazy to me, dude.
And then it moves into...
It's crazy to me that, like, yo, you guys are actually doing this at your house? Nah.
Relationships.
I remember when I did a love spell on my boyfriend because he was treating me bad and I wanted him to act differently. It worked.
And the worst part is that even though they may be communicating with the demonic, getting insights from the enemy, much of the time they don't even see this as being witchcraft, but simply see this as something harmless that just works.
Really? We listen and we don't judge. In 2022, me and my boyfriend broke up in August, and I pretty much spent 9 months wishing that we would get back together and trying to find a way to get back together with him. I was in my delusional era, so I was on TikTok on the tarot card girls that like tell you that your ex is getting back to you. Yeah, so that was all over my For You page, and I saw this video of this girl doing this love spell, and I think she was a witch, but I don't know. And I was in a time of desperation, and I did the love spell, and
I was in a time of desperation, so she turned to Satan, not me. I've already had my dances with Shaitan. Look, doesn't this look like a turban? Don't I look like, what's his name? Nick Cannon?
Within 2 days, he was texting.
I'm telling you, this fly is, you're going to...
me and calling me, and then within a week we were hanging out, and now we've been back together for over 1.5 years, almost 2 years, and I am convinced that the love spell actually worked, and I have kept it because I'm afraid to throw it away, because if I throw it away, what if he breaks up? We break up, and
so clearly she's still delusional, it seems.
And this man now worships the ground I walk on, like a completely different relationship than we were together before, and he would literally take a bullet for me, and is the most healthy.
So I don't understand this. So you guys don't want people to be in relationships, but you guys want people to pedestalize you, and then once they pedestalize you, it becomes boring, because it's like you can't really have a conversation when it's like the energies are lopsided, you know? 6-7.
The best relationship I've ever had, and I swear that those witch girls, they just know something that we don't, because I never believed it, and I believe. We listen and we don't judge.
But this just speaks to the grand delusion of the masses today and the lack of
And the crazy thing is that they all have the exact same cadence when you hear them talk. Oh my God, what happened here? Oh, sorry. Let's go back to the video.
Proper Orthodox Christian spiritual formation regarding the demonic. But once we get to the true history of feminism and the occult and what they're trying to accomplish, it sobers you up very quickly. But how did this happen? How did witchcraft go from something whispered about in the shadows, actively condemned and discouraged in society, to something your average suburban girl finds between skincare tutorials and dating advice? How did astrology, spell jars, blood rituals, goddess worship, and manipulation magic become normal enough to be packaged as quote-unquote healing? Well, this is where the story gets much bigger and points to a much more serious indicator of the state of our society. Because historically, when civilizations begin to collapse, they without fail turn back towards fertility cults, goddess figures, mystery religion, magic, and the divine feminine. And you see this in the late Roman world with the spread of mystery cults like Isis and Cybele. You see this in
I like how the music is building up like this, really getting us pumped up.
collapsing pagan societies where fertility, sexuality, and sacred feminine power become spiritual substitutes for a dying civic order. When a society loses God the Father, it starts looking for God the Mother.
See?
One of the most important figures in the rise of modern occult spirituality was Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. Born in the Russian Empire in 1831, Blavatsky became the central founder of something called the Theosophical Society in 1875, a movement that claimed to recover an ancient hidden wisdom beneath all world religions. Theosophy did not present Christianity as
And I think these Theosophy people, they have churches in Hollywood, actually.
the final revelation of God. It treated Christianity as but one fragment of a much larger esoteric system, alongside Hinduism, Buddhism,
They're all together. Okay, no matter what everybody will tell you, all the religions, they all stem from the source. They're all one. There's one. Okay, it all goes back to the one. Unfortunately, because of this reality that we live in, which is a 3D reality, it's based on the idea of duality. It's a binary reality that we live in. It's either you do it or you don't. It's either you make it or you don't. You know. So this idea of breaking it up into multiple religions, it's just about the duality, because this whole entire reality is about division. I swear to fucking God, I've been trying to kill this fly all day, man. I swear to God, you'll die,
Formation,
nigga.
spiritual evolution, hidden masters, occult powers, and secret knowledge. The society's goals were openly institutional, to form a, quote, universal brotherhood of humanity, to encourage comparative religion, philosophy, and science, and to investigate the, quote, unexplained laws of nature and, quote, powers latent in humanity. In other words, Blavatsky was not just selling private witchcraft, she was helping build a new spiritual framework for the modern world, one that could ultimately be synthesized into a single point of control, placing itself figuratively above all formal organized religion, which made it attractive to wealthy institutions and hegemonies that wanted to consolidate their power. And this is where ties between feminism, goddess worship, and institutions funding the stuff like the Rockefellers become impossible to ignore, as we will continue to see. Blavatsky's first major work was literally called Isis Unveiled, attempting to present the goddess Isis as a symbol of hidden wisdom beneath the surface of ordinary religion, casting the narrative that patriarchy must be defeated and replaced with the matriarchy, using Isis as a very useful symbol or Trojan horse into achieving that end. Later, feminist occult writers also turned Isis into a model of sacred feminine power, hence the obscene amounts of imagery relating to Isis in today's popular entertainment landscape. Historian Joy Dixon, in Divine Feminine, Theosophy and Feminism in England, argues that Theosophy and its pantheon of goddesses became deeply connected to feminist political culture. Theosophists claimed that women and, quote, the East possessed spiritual forces that Western man had lost through materialism, empire, and rationalism. That is basically an early form of what we now call, quote, the divine feminine. This was not yet witch talk, but it was the seedbed, and it planted itself at the heart of the first wave feminist suffragist movement. A perfect example that we need to understand after Blavatsky is Annie Besant. Now, it's common online to hear from men and women and even self-professed Christians that, oh well, first wave feminism was good, but things got out of control with second and third wave feminism.
Feminists, look, the status quo, feminists ask for it, you're gonna get equality. You ask for equality.
It was always out of hand, right? And now it's only taken even a more darker turn.
It's an original feminism, though.
No, well, feminism has always been a man-hating ideology, but that.
The fact that the nigga has to white out all your guys' tatas like that tells me that you guys don't know how to put clothes on.
That's another conversation.
And so my position would be we should give feminism credit for the good things it has done to improve women's dignity throughout the course of history, including what first wave and even some second and third wave feminists.
I think from the beginning, feminists have always been concerned with this core question. What does it mean to be just to women as women?
But that couldn't be further from the historical truth. Besant was not some obscure mystic. She was a major public intellectual, a secularist, a socialist, feminist, birth control activist, theosophist, Freemason, and even eventually the first female president of the Indian National Congress in 1917. And she's important because she brought together the ideas that most people today imagine are separate: feminism, socialism, contraception, anti-Christian radicalism, occult spirituality, and political revolution. When birth control is brought up, we automatically think of the 1960s, but people don't realize just how how much further back this actually goes. In 1877, Besant and Charles Bradlaugh republished Charles Knowlton's birth control pamphlet called Fruits of Philosophy, which was once long buried underground as way too insane and controversial. They were prosecuted for it, but it still served as a major victory for the feminists and occultists because the trial turned birth control into a national public dialogue and issue that was no longer fringe. After
We're in a jam, aren't we? I'm sorry, but you'll have to excuse me. I'm too busy to answer questions like that.
spiritual father of the inventor of Wicca. Crowley was a British occultist, ceremonial magician, and founder of Thelema, the modern occult religion built around the famous satanic command, quote, do what celebrated. It becomes content, it becomes testimony, it becomes a political sacrament, and they're spending billions of dollars to make sure that from the youngest age, this is what children believe.
So you think it's okay depending on the circumstances?
Yes. Why did you have
this idea that, right? I think in Christianity they don't believe in abortion. I believe.
Abortion. A few years ago, I got pregnant, and I really didn't want to have a baby. He wasn't wearing a condom.
Why wasn't he wearing a condom?
Have you ever had two options?
Bitch asking the right questions.
And one of them like seems easier at the time.
Oh yeah, like you could take a shortcut. Like you could go the
it was a shortcut version.
Why did your partner
Seems everyone's taking a shortcut these days, huh?
think at the time?
You know, I think we were both like bummed out that I got pregnant, and he was just like supportive of what I wanted to do.
Were you reckless at the time?
I mean, I don't.
Yes, we call that reckless. When you don't wear protection, you're being reckless, all right? Secondly, this video is, we kind of skimmed through the end there because it's about half an hour I've done. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, Satan is here. He's working very, very, very strong, and he's trying to take us all down. Don't fall for the rhetoric. Stand for something or fall for anything, all right? Don't let these witches lie to you, man. They're all bullshit artists, guys.